Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, how are you?
How you doing? It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I'm excited to be
I
here.
know. Like every time we get together, I know people are like, oh Lord, here they go.
I know. And I'm loving your new branding. The logo, the level up. You hear me? I'm loving it. I'm here for it. I love it.
Thank you. Because I'm like, do people really know this? Or I don't know, but I think I just overthink everything because I want everything to look nice. But I always want the experience to get better for my guests and the viewers and just thinking of ways to make it better. So thank you so much for the shout out.
Yeah, welcome. It's gorgeous. I love
Yeah.
it. We definitely notice, okay?
I know, and it's like, first of all, people that don't know you, Cameo is high energy. Like we talked on the 6 a.m. call. We're like half asleep, and she's ready. Like I've never known Cameo to be ready. Like you're always like on it. So, it takes me a minute, and by the time I wake up, the call is over.
But you're there. That's all that matters. You're there.
Yes, that is so true. So I know we talk all the time, but just those that are not familiar with you, we're going to go ahead and get the intro and get everything going. So before we get started, hey, everybody, it's your girl, Cameo Essick. I'm host of the Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast where innovators and creators connect. If you haven't heard, my new ebook is now available for pre-order. Go to my website right now at CameoEssick.com and pre-order Start a Podcast with less than $100. And you can also go ahead and order now the Self-Love Guide, which is an ebook about being self-critical and how to overcome that.
I love that.
It's an amazing, amazing ebook. So go and grab that right now. Chemistry, my Essential Room Spray collection is available. 10 fragrances available. They smell so good. I have warm stuff, cool stuff, things that are a little pretty, a little spicy. So it's a little bit of everything for everybody. Trust me, you're going to love it. You can use it for your closet, your car, kitchen, take it to work, home. It's just an all-around amazing room spray. And I also want to thank one of my viewers, Deborah Davis from California.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This gorgeous tote bag. It's really deep. And I just want to tell her thank you so much, Deborah, for sending this back to me. I will be using this. Please believe. And we got that event coming up this summer, so you will see it there. Cameo, I don't want to shout that out. People like and also discuss Cameo's new book. This is very pretty. This is the Best Life Formula. It's a book and workbooks of Cameo, and we're going to talk about that as well. So Cameo, you have a lot going on. Welcome back to the show. You are a friend and family to the Speaker Podcast. So I'm so glad to have you back once again, girl.
Girl, first of all, I just got to give you a hand clap because somebody has been working on their brand. Somebody has been staying consistent. Someone has been evolving and living their best life. And that someone is Cameo Essick. So I want to give it up to you because just hearing you talk about all that you're doing, and I know all of the things that you have going on in life, you in school, all these things that you're doing, and you're just continuing to be hella consistent. I'm proud of you, sis. I'm like, she my friend, honey. She a boss, baby. She got it going on. So I'm honored to be here with you. So thank you for having me. Okay.
And thank you. So anytime Cameo and I get together, when I say if we were both in the music industry and had hype men hyping each other up all the time, I could look over to my left and my right and I can count on her every time to be like, go Cam. Like it's you know, the two Cams are here. So just because we're together, okay?
Right.
And we met freshman year at MTSU, and it's been like that ever since. So
God is good. Okay, so yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Cameo Bobo. Yes, that is my real name for those who do not know me. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have several different businesses, and one of the businesses is I am a goal coach. I help entrepreneurs release their inner greatness, those gifts and talents that you have deep inside of you that you haven't fully released. I help you release those. I help you turn those gifts and talents into goals. Then I help you give those goals 100%. And when you release your inner greatness, give your goals 100%, you ultimately live your best life like Cam and I are doing. Now, best life. Best life does not mean that you are driving a Maserati and you staying in the Beverly Hills Hotel. It basically means that you are fulfilling your purpose, you are moving towards your goals, and you are content in life. And who doesn't want to do that? Okay. All right. So that's what I do as a goal coach. I recently released my first book. So now I am a published author. I'm so excited about that. Those are the books that Camille held up a little bit ago. So my book is all about my goal setting formula. I've created a 6-step goal setting formula that will help you change your life. If you're ready to evolve, if you're ready to transform, if you're ready to have systems and tools and strategies in your life to guarantee that you stay productive and move forward every quarter of your life, hit me up, get my book at cameobobo.com. Also, I am a musician. Yes, I have a songs out. My song out right now is called 2021 is my year. We ain't never gonna stop because God got us popping, okay? So you can check that out on all music platforms. Just type in 2021 is my year and search my name, Cameo Bobo. I also am a mentor to girls. I have a girls program called We Are Femme, and it's all about letting girls know that they're fearfully and wonderfully made, meaning that they are unique princesses chosen by God, that they can be successful and do whatever they need to do. We focus in on bullying, peer pressure, self-love, and we talk about other things too, but I'm relaunching that program really soon, but Camille and I will talk about that on this call. And there's one more thing. Oh, I have a boutique called Shop with Cameo. Yes, it is where all of the fun, sexy, and cute men and women who Jesus loves shop. Okay, so if you fun, if you sexy, and you cute, you need to be shopping with Cameo. Okay, head over to shopwithcameo.com, and all of my information is in my bio on Facebook. You can click my link, and you'll see all of this. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I love it, Cameo. Cameo brings the energy, okay? Every time you bring the energy, and I absolutely
thank you.
And with this being this episode, it's just I already know. But this month is Women's Month, and we are celebrating ladies all month long. I think it was yesterday was International Women's Day, and
right.
We have our former First Lady Michelle Obama being inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame, which I think is absolutely amazing.
Awesome. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, they just announced it yesterday. And I think she's so amazing. She's our most educated First Lady. She's a gorgeous woman of color. She's a woman of grace and intelligence. And looking back over her life, like I own both of her books, her and her husband, Becoming, and President Obama's book as well. Amazing read. But when we're looking at where women are now in today's society, we also have to look at what our young girls are dealing with, what they're battling, what they're facing. So you, Cameo, you mentioned your Project Farm, and you're dealing with young ladies all the time. And even now, virtually, you still have your organization running. So how do you deal or talk to young ladies when they're going through this life, navigating colorism, sexism, racism, and even seeing what little girls deal with day to day? How do you talk to them when you have young ladies in your family, maybe a little sister, a niece, a cousin, a goddaughter that is quietly dealing with the low self-esteem, the low self-confidence, and they're not talking about it? Like, how do you get the young girls and talk about what's really bothering them? Because you see them withdrawn, or they're kind of in the room all the time, or they have friends, but maybe one or two, and they're not really flourishing. So how do you get them to come out of that shell? And what are some of the signs as well when you see young ladies with the low self-esteem?
So like if I was giving advice to a mother or someone that was dealing with a child that was struggling with low self-esteem, I would encourage them to try to get on that child's level. So sometimes you have to step outside of your adulthood. You have to step outside of, just how you just have to change your the way that you're going to reach the child. A lot of kids, they love the farm program because I am very youthful in that program. I don't show up as Miss Cameo. They call me Cameo. They can put the Miss on there if they want to. I don't really care about that part. I want you to see me as someone that you can talk to, someone that you can approach. And of course, they need to respect me. but I show up as someone that they're friend. That's how I show up. My program is about me being a big sister. And in order for me to be considered a big sister, I don't have a big sister. But if I or have a sister, a real physical sister, but the people that I call sisters are also my friends. And I show up, they show up as a friend and they are my sister, you know. So I show up to the girls with that intention to show up with a youthful feeling. I try to remember where I was in my head when I was their age, 10, 11, 12, 16. I try to remember and go back and remember where I was. What was I dealing with? What were my thoughts during that time? What was my perspective around life? How did I see things? And so once I'm already there as a person and I began to talk to a child. One girl was having an issue with different girls in the group. And, you know, I pulled her to the back and I said, you know, what is wrong? You know, so this is what would happen. Like if they're having a problem within the group, I'll say, okay, you got to go have some talk to Miss Cameo time. You know, you got to go back here and talk to Miss Cameo. And I didn't make it like it was the principal's office, but I made it like, look, you're going to have to come talk to me and share your thoughts and feelings. If you don't want to do that, you better act like you got some sense. But anyway, so we would go to the back and we would have these conversations. And I ended up finding out that one little girl was sad because she lost her father several years ago. And she just missed her dad. She was living with her grandmother. I wasn't sure what was going on with her mom. And we just had a conversation. And Camille, honestly, I can't remember exactly what I said to her, but I just talked to her about whatever it was about her missing her dad. And I told her it was natural for her to miss her dad. Then I'm sure her daddy loved her and would wanted to be here if he could have been. You know, I just talked her through it and we went back. The next day she brought a letter back and she said, "Dear Miss Cameo, I thought about what you said and I thank you." She just wrote like, "Thank you for what you said. It made me feel better," you know. And so a lot of times it's giving these children new thoughts. The thought shouldn't be that my daddy died on purpose or my daddy doesn't love me. The thought should be my daddy misses me too, just like I miss him. And one day we could be together in heaven again, or I'm going to live a good life and be a good girl because I know that will honor my daddy's legacy. You know, sometimes you just have to change the child's perspective of how they're seeing things and just say, you just have to work on, you have to figure out what is the thought that they're having. Because we know the insecurities is based on a thought. It's always based on a thought. It's based on a thought and you have a feeling and then you start reacting. So if you can figure out the thoughts that your child is having through having them journal, through having them talk to someone, through you being able to talk to them on their level, then that will help you navigate where the changes that need to be made for that child.
That's really good. So when we, because I have nieces and nephews and, you know, I'm a godmother to some of the children of my friends. So when you're interacting with these young ladies, Cameo, what are some of the signs that you've seen or noticed when they are dealing with self-esteem, but they're not talking about it, but the behaviors that maybe parents are missing or don't recognize?
So sometimes, like if your child goes from being really out, now your child is going to shift, especially if she's a girl. She may go to want to sing in a youth choir and do Easter speeches. All of a sudden now she's shying back. That's a little bit natural because as children get older, they realize that people are watching and looking at them. And some of that childlike innocence just leaves naturally. That's a part of, you know, it being that way. But if your child shows up just totally different, if you just notice that they seem easily to be angered, they seem depressed, they seem like they don't have a lot of happy days, they're not excited about going to school, they don't seem to have any friends, they, you know, they don't get along with their sibling, and you know, it's something is going on. And so one thing I did with my son, I always made him talk. I never sent him to his room because when I send him to his room, it is the devil's playground for my child's thoughts. So I never did that. If he did go to his room, he had to sit in there with his door open. And I was going to be coming in the next 5 to 10 minutes to have a conversation about what we just argued about. What was your thought process? Why did you say that? This is why I said that. I might have lost my temper, but mom's going to do better, you know, but I need for you to tell me what's going on with you. And, you know, you don't need to sit up here and think about, I don't want to live. Life is over. I hate my mama. My mama don't love me. whatever those thoughts are, I just would drill Kyrie and get him to talk about it. So now when something's going on with him, he can call and tell me right off the top. He may not be as good as expressing his feelings as I am, but he does way better than he used to. So I hope some of that worked. What's your question?
And you brought out a really good point, bringing up Reed. I call him Reed, but I've known him since he was born. But it's just like with boys, particularly our Black boys, not expressing their feelings, being told, don't cry, things like that, and how you interact with him, raising a young man and giving him the space to express himself. Because a lot of young Black men, they don't have that, and then that energy is channeled in other ways that could get them in trouble. And society already has a label on them, right? So if they are just expressing a feeling, then it's misinterpreted. It could put their life in danger.
Right.
So touch on that a little bit more.
Yeah, so I would say so this is what I've learned. I read a book called Mother and Son. If you guys Google it, it's a blue and white cover. I can't remember the name of the author. But what I learned in talking to my son, I talk to you with love. So if I come to you from a place of love and understanding, that's going to work for you. But with men, you need to come to them from a space of respect and integrity. And that's the place that I try to come to when I'm talking to my son. Love is great, but he wants his mama to respect him, right? He knows his mama loves him, but she can show him respect in the tone and in the manner that she comes to him, which allows him to stay more open to me and makes him not be so aggressive and angry, or maybe the way that they say Black men are, or those stereotypical things that go on. So I think it's important that our Black boys, we remember that, yes, we're mom. Yes, they have to respect us and all of that. Yes. But at the same time, they do not communicate the way we do. They are men. We are women. And we have to change the way we are and work on, are we respecting our child? Are we showing up, treating our child like they're a child of integrity? A lot of times, I think that some mothers, and I'm saying this out of love, come to their child with, you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, or you should have done this, or I don't know why you think I'm going to be slaving around the house for you, blah, 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 blah. Because we're speaking from a place of, you don't love me because you didn't clean up, you didn't do what you're supposed to do, you didn't wash the dishes, so you're not showing me love. So we show up in that way. And a man is thinking, why are you talking to me disrespectful? The things that I didn't do warrant you talking to me like that? Why is my mom coming to me with disrespect like this? So it's just figuring out how to go and tell your child in a respectful manner what they did not do. They will get up and go do it, instead of you having to come to them with all of this, boom, 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 and then you're going to get it right back. You're not going to get what you think you want back. You're not going to get a response. Oh, dang, mama, I forgot, man, I got you. You're not going to get that response. You're going to get, dang, why you screaming at me? Why you bust up in my room like this? Yeah. You acting like the dish is going to die or something. You act like, you're going to get that, but really what you want is, I forgot, mama, I love you. I'm going to go do them right now. Right. And so in order to get that response, you have to show up different for your child. Right. And if you just figure out how to do that, I believe that creates a better, highly functioning man that'll show up in the world different.
Yeah. And I was thinking when you were talking about that, Cameo, because that's creating a template when he begins to date and he's looking for a partner, that other half. And I was actually listening to something, I think his name is Stefan Speaks or something like that.
Yeah, I know him. And I like him.
Yeah, he's really good. And he was on YouTube and he said, women want love, but men want respect. So if a man does not feel respected, the way he shows love, the woman's not going to feel love. So then she doesn't respect her. And it's a cycle. Because you're not respecting him, the way he shows love is not going to happen, and then you're not going to love on him, and then he feels disrespected, and it's just a back and forth of not getting love from what the woman wants, and then the respect how the man feels like that's his form of love is through respect.
Right.
It was a very interesting perspective to hear that, and it was like, oh wow. And I don't know if a lot of women even realize that when they're raising their sons, as far as how men gauge love, and it's based on respect.
Exactly. That's so true.
So what has inspired you? We're going to switch gears to write the Best Life Formula.
Okay, so I'm really excited about that book. Basically, what inspired me, I decided that I was going to write a book about 3 years ago, but I really couldn't figure out the topic. I was going back and forth about different topics. And this summer, it was like God just was like, you need to take your best life formula and turn it into a book. It was already like a small guide that I would use for my workshops and one-on-ones. So basically what I did was take that guide and turn it into a book. And so it takes you through the 6 steps of my best life formula. At the same time, it gives you personal life stories and some of my clients' stories of how they use my best life formula in their personal life. So that's the story, how I got going with it.
That's awesome. And you have a new single out.
Yes.
I mean, that's actually part 2 from the single from last year.
Right.
What inspires you to write this song and then to carry it over into the next year? Like, what was the story behind writing 2020 is my year?
Okay, in 2020, I started out 2020. I was in debt and I didn't have a car. I totaled my car, so I didn't have a car. So January, February, March, I was restarting and getting everything back together. And I would say one day I was riding in my car and I was getting down because I was like, I'm not going to be able to come out of this, Lord. I'm not going to be able to come out of this. And these words came in my mind. 2020 is my year. 2020 is my year. And I was like, I think that's a song, And so I went and told Kyrie, I was like, Kyrie, listen to this. And he was like, whatever, mama. And so I wrote it in my notes on my iPhone. And it came back again. Long story short, I recorded it and put it out. And I was able to get it on the radio in Jackson, Tennessee. And I think I had over 50,000 streams in 2020.
Wow.
So towards the middle, maybe the fall of 2020, I was out to lunch with one of my friends. And he said, you should figure out how to keep this 2020 thing going. And I was like, okay. So I was praying about it. And right before New Year's Eve, I went and recorded 2021 is my year. So I basically changed the hook and added a verse to the song. And so that's what 2021 is my year. And so basically God blesses me to write songs that have prophetic in it, kind of like it's confessions. I'm real big on confessions. I'm real big on words. So when you are saying 2021 is my year, I ain't never gonna stop because God got me popping. That is basically you speaking out what you want in the universe. It's subconsciously doing it. We don't realize, well, I think we do, but a lot of people, and I didn't growing up, realize that music has a real effect on your life. The words that you are singing, unbreak my heart, say you love me again. We singing all these, it's just another sad love song. I ain't picking on Tony, but that's just the 2 songs that came to my head. But we don't understand. We are subconsciously putting thoughts into our mind. And we need to be putting if we're going to do anything, we need to put the right thoughts in our mind because our thoughts, they govern our words and our words govern what goes on in our lives. If you have a problem with the life that you are living right now, if anybody's watching, they don't like their life, it's because they don't speak the right words. Simply plain. They're not believing the right things. They're not thinking the right way. They're walking in fear in some areas of their life, and I'm not saying that to like offend anyone, but that's the truth, because I can look at my life anytime in my life where I didn't like the circumstances, that I had accepted something that I didn't deserve. I needed something. I deserved something better. But for some reason, I had decided to compromise or pull back or to walk in fear or stay stuck or whatever. But yeah.
Where do you think people get that from? Because it's not like it happened overnight.
Yeah.
You're not, as children saying, oh, I want to be a pessimistic adult. Where do you think that comes from? Like, is it a combination of environment, circumstance, things maybe people have spoken into them as kids? Because it seems like when you see children play, they're fearless. They will leap off couches, flip. Mm-hmm. They'll tell you they're a Superman, they're a scientist. Mm-hmm. They're imaginative. Like nothing is off limits to them. It's adults that put a ceiling or a cap on children.
Right.
No, you can't do that. Do this. And then the mind shrinks. I don't want to say shrinks, but the imagination shrinks. And I think I was reading somewhere that said up until around age 3 or 4, most children, or if you were to test them, they're on a genius level. But as they get older, the IQ drops because their ability to explore is limited.
Yeah.
Some kids stay in that lane because their environment allows them to explore their levels of creativity or to build on a gift a parent or someone sees. But the average child, they begin to kind of dwindle in that.
Right.
How do they get there as an adult, and how do we get out of it and really tap into our greatness?
So it's a sum total of everything that you said. A child comes out. Usually, a child is not born negative, right? They're not born negative. Now, they are born with that they don't really understand right and wrong, so you have to teach them that, But they aren't born negative beings, and they really don't know limitations until you teach them limitations. That's why they'll walk up and touch a fire. They're curious. They don't understand. They don't know all of that. So we don't understand as adults that we are literally lining this child up for success or failure in their life. We are providing them with the limitations that will stop them unless they change their mindset later on when they get older. So I would just say, if to any parents or anybody that has a mentor or a guardianship place in a child's life, leave your personal limitations at home. Do not give them to that child. I heard one time I was at a church speaking, and I was talking about dreams and going after your dreams. And this guy's father told him, he said, he got up and asked the question. He said, my son wants to play professional basketball, and he said a certain number, only a certain amount of kids making into the NFL. And I told him he need to find something else to do. And I told him, your son can do whatever he wants to do. Whatever he puts his mind to, he can have and do. All he has to, why not him? Those other kids were on just the same thing. They just believed and didn't stop pushing. And when you believe, when you speak the words and you stand, the universe will move heaven and hell to bring whatever you say to pass, because you have that much power. The issue is, a lot of adults don't believe that. They don't believe that. And it's gotten so bad where they really, it's hard for them to receive that they can change their circumstances, that they are not governed by where they're from or who they are. If that was the case, then I wouldn't be anybody. I wouldn't be anybody. One of my coaches told me I was going to end up pregnant and be nobody, to the point where he didn't even give me my paperwork. I had gotten a scholarship to go to school in Lane College. And he didn't even give me the paperwork to the end of school. I had missed the deadline to talk to those people. And he didn't even do that because he didn't believe in me, And from that point on, I was like, I don't need you to believe in me. I don't care what you think about me. No way, honey. But anyway, it just made me realize that people can put their opinions on you and try to create your life. He was trying to, because he felt like that about me. He was literally moving the universe in that way for me. And I didn't even know, so it's a lot of, we have to remember that when we have bad days and we bring that energy to the house, that energy is served to those children, until they get old enough to say, Mama, what's wrong? Why you always mad? They're indirectly receiving that energy, and it's teaching them lessons all the time. So I would encourage anybody to never stop learning about mindset and faith. Like if you can figure out how to work your mind for you, and you can figure out how to work faith for you, there's nothing you can't have. And that's kind of the place that I'm in right now, so that's what I would hope that.
No, that's really, really good. And something while you were talking, we always talk about the 6 a.m. call, but I think it's so important to have a circle around you of positive people that can see beyond your current situation, your current circumstances, that can see things in you that you cannot see. I think it's very important to surround yourself with visionaries. Lisa joined us. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
It's very important to be around visionaries and people that can see your potential and say, you know what, hey, you're not, this is good, but you can do better. Hey,
Yes.
Cam, and you know, we're both Cam and Cameo
Right.
Bobo, so you say Cam, we both turning around.
Yeah.
But, hey, Cam, like, that was great. That was good, but you can be great. And you need someone to challenge you. The word of God says that iron sharpens iron. So can you touch on how important it is to have that type of circle around you? And then also when you realize your current circle is not challenging you or pushing you or motivating you, maybe you need to make some changes and shift some people around.
Yeah, no, it is so important that you find a tribe of people that are like-minded. You know, the same way the Bible talks about you being equally yoked with a marriage partner, you need to be equally yoked with the people that are around you. Yes, there are times when you will serve as mentor or something like that, inspiration to people, but you should have more people that are inspiring you to be great than you have that you are mentoring in your life. Then otherwise you'll be unbalanced. So it is so important that you find a tribe. And you might say, well, Cam, y'all, I don't know anybody like me. Listen, I didn't either. But I started praying and I started getting out there and putting myself out there. I started meeting people and talking to people and going places. I was DMing people, asking them to lunch. Some people was turning me down. They want to talk to me. Some people would do it. But I put myself out there and found the people that I wanted to be affiliated with. And I stayed open to that. So don't worry about where the people are. Just start looking for them and they will show up. But it is nothing like having a group of people that you relate to, that understand the things that you're trying to do, especially as an entrepreneur, because the entrepreneurship journey can be extremely lonely, especially when you're always pushing yourself. You're always stepping outside of your comfort zone. You're always spending money on something with the desire for a return, you know, and I would say that it is very important. If you are in a tribe of people or in a clique of people that you just don't feel appreciated, like you feel like they're tolerating you, you feel like they really don't like you, you feel like they could be kind of jealous or envious of you, what I would do is I would tell you to leave those relationships. I would find boundaries. I wouldn't talk to them as much. I would start separating myself with them, and I would just figure out how to do it. Because if you don't have a good tribe, it's even worse for you to have a bad tribe, because that means that those people may allow the devil to use them against you. And you don't want to be around people like that. You know, people make mistakes. They're human, of course, but sometimes people are intentionally evil. And you don't want to be around people like that allow the devil to use them to kind of be evil or unnice to you. You don't deserve that. You deserve to be in a place where people are respecting you and loving you, showing up for you the way you show up for them. You know, so that's what I would say.
That's a really good point. What also gets me is the fact that people can sometimes resent your growth, because it's like when we met and we were friends, we were on this level, and it was like an unspoken thing, like we're gonna be on a particular level together, right?
Yeah.
But then when you begin to grow, they can feel left behind,
Right.
and so then because you're not still on the bottom level with them, and it's not that you're better than them, it's just that you've taken the time and you've been more disciplined. You know what I'm saying? And so you outgrow each other.
Yeah.
And
But
I look at it like a pair of shoes. You have a pair of shoes, you love the shoes, but then your feet start to grow. You love the shoes, but when the shoes start to hurt your feet, it's time to get another pair of shoes.
I agree 100%. But at the same time, this is what I be feeling about people. Like if you see something in me, if you are jealous or envious of me, then that probably means that I'm doing something that you want to do or wish you could do or desire to do. One is speaking to something inside of you. So the smartest thing for you to do would be to grow. It would be to figure out, how can I do what I want to do? Cameo doing everything she want to do. Why can't I do what I want to do? And maybe she can help me figure out how to do what I want to do. Instead of spending time being jealous and envious, a lot of times it's because you see something that you want in them that you have. You just haven't figured out how to release it or to get it out, you know. And I might not be the right person because you might not be how do I say mature enough to navigate your feelings and treat me with respect while I'm trying to help you. But I maybe can lead you in the right direction, or I can tell you, well, I read this book or I watched these YouTube videos, girl. Go for it. Go for it. You should do it too. So that's what I would say. Like, if you see somebody and you a grown woman and you are envious or jealous of them, maybe try asking them, how did you break free? How do you do everything you do without being, you know, insecure? You know, how do you have a podcast and show up and don't care about what people say, and you pick your own subject matters? And, you know, I want to do that, but I'm scared of what people say. And you can give them an answer. Like, I that's what I encourage people to do. Because when I first got started, my pastor was like, she was at church preaching, and she was like, if you see somebody that's doing something similar to what you want to do in this church, start hanging out with them and see how they are. And nobody really was doing what I wanted to do, but my friend Jannard was into TV production. And I was like, I don't know what Jannard does, but it's interesting to me. So I'm going to start hanging out with him. And he was the first one to put me on television. He was the first one to help me with my interview skills. He was the one that told me, I used to didn't like my voice. I didn't like to listen back to, you know, when I would hear the replays of interviews that I would do. I didn't like listening to my voice. And he told me, no, Cam, listen to your voice, critique your voice, and make it your own. So it's part of your signature brand. And that's what I've done. So, yeah.
I think that's very important too, as far as getting close to people that have skills that you may not have to make you better, to make your brand better. I think sometimes people are jealous of others, not knowing you're praying to God for answers, and these people can be the solution to your prayer.
Right.
But you're so busy being jealous and envious, not knowing this is the very thing that you wanted. You know,
Right.
I was in Clubhouse yesterday morning while I was getting some work done, and it was a room, I think it's called the Black Love Room or Real Black Love, and there was just a lot of entrepreneurs. Some were married, some were single, and I was just kind of hanging back in the audience listening. And there was a guy on there, and he used to be a drug dealer, but he now owns his own fleet of trucks, and he's making 6 figures with his company, and he's about to hit 7 figures.
Awesome.
And he was telling the story about how he had one of his trucks, and he was like, well, guys, you know how McDonald's, their shake machines are always broken. And so his trucking company was delivering new milkshake or McFlurry machines to McDonald's. And the young lady he was, I guess, beginning to talk to or date or whatever, she had called him. And I guess she could hear the background of, you know, hi, welcome to McDonald's, my ticket order, da-da-da. You could hear all that. And she was like, where are you? Are you at work? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, you're at McDonald's? And he was like, yeah. And she says, oh, I'm sorry. You can't afford me. And he said, oh, okay, well, thank you. You know, and ended, you know, talking to the young lady or whatever. And he was telling us that I don't work at McDonald's. I just happen to be here delivering the McFlurry machine. But this young lady cut me because she heard me at McDonald's. And I told her I was at work, so she assumed that's where I worked, that I worked at McDonald's. And he was like, I did tell her that I do drive trucks or whatever, but she didn't know I own the fleet. I own the company. I'm the CEO, and I make 6 figures. And we were all in the room like, wow, you know? And so it just blows my mind how our perception can cut us from the very thing that could bless us, you know, in our personal lives, in our brands, just all because we're sizing people up, we're judging people, what things look like on the outside. And, you know, you hear all the time, never judge a book by its cover. Never.
People don't do that, though. People do not live by that, but they, you know, it's sad, but people don't live by that.
Yeah, I think particularly Cameo, with the age of social media, everything is very visual. And now with the pandemic, that autosensory is heightened even more, because now that third dimension of physical contact is still at a very low point.
Right.
So it's based on what we see through swiping the phone, and it's just like, what you see there is not real. You're envious of this person's selfie, not knowing they took 30 pictures to get the one good one that went viral. But what about the other 29 that got deleted?
Come on. I tell people all the time, a selfie is a multiple pictures.
And then they're gonna adjust the light, the dark, the shadow, and put a filter on it. So
yeah.
So with this great conversation, Cameo, do you have any like takeaways or gems that you really want the viewers and the listeners to get from this conversation?
First of all, be yourself. Be who you are. Find the people that accept you for who you are, and be yourself. Please, if you don't do anything else in 2021, figure out one thing you can do to put yourself out there that's a little bit more of what you want to do. I don't know what you want to do. I don't know why you're not doing it. Maybe your mama told you shouldn't wear red lipstick because dark women shouldn't wear it. Maybe your mama told you that you don't look right with short hair because you got a big forehead. But you feel like you look right with red lipstick, and you feel like you look right with short hair. I want you to do it. Whatever it is that you feel like you can't do because somebody told you one time that it's not right or it doesn't look good, I want you to do that one thing. Because God created you for a unique purpose, and he created you uniquely. And if you do not step into who you really are, we won't be able to see one side of God, because we're really just gods on this earth, and he's showing up individually in each of us, and he needs us. He needs us to show up as he's called us to show up. So that's point number one. Number two, if you are ready to take action and need some type of guidance or need some type of information to get you started, buy my book, The Best Life Formula. It's available at cameobobo.com. Type in my name, cameobobo.com, into Google. You can purchase the book for $19.99, or within, this is what I say that you should do. You should purchase the book and the workbook combo, which comes the book and like Camille did, and that is only $24.97. And I'm not going to be running these deals much longer, so please go ahead and go to the website. With that book, you get the book and the workbook for $24.97. Plus, I autograph it, and I do free shipping. So, baby, those deals are not going to last much longer, so be sure that you go and grab it. And, yeah, see, I autograph it for my sis. So, yes, that's the next thing. And thirdly, get motivated and pull up my song 2021 is my year, okay? Because it will inspire you, it will motivate you, and it will keep you dancing and grooving all year long as you achieve your goals.
I love it. Every time you come here, Cameo, you bring the energy. You bring the energy, and it's always high energy. It's always positive, and I absolutely just love it, girl.
Thank you, Camille. I appreciate it.
Listen, when we see each other again, it's just gonna be.
I know. Look, I'm gonna have a whole lot of energy built up by then. Y'all gonna be like, y'all.
Yes, and this is important. And this is what I say is so important, to have positive friends, because I threw a white party. It was not this past summer, but the summer before last summer of, was it 2019? I threw a white party at Firebirds in Brentwood. Shout out to the Firebirds. We love you.
Yeah. They came through. It was nice.
Yes. And Cameo ended up meeting Mark and Jalen. She met so many of my other friends, and I love when my friends connect. And because she met Mark at my party, she ended up, in our group. So you never know how things that you go through and the connections, how can bless you, because I didn't even know you were going through that at the beginning of last year. And then for everything to happen, and then you join the group, and it's just a full circle situation. So
it did.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And here we are.
Yes, here we are. And I showed up. And a lot of people, sometimes they don't even want to show up for you because I don't know nobody else going to be there. I didn't know anybody there but you. But I sat down and I mingled and I mixed, and so sometimes, and I met Latria, I think, from that event too. Yes. So you have to just step outside of yourself. And a lot of times people aren't thinking about you as seriously as you're thinking about yourself. You kind of need to think about that too. You're not that big of a deal. It's kind of like you're a person, I'm a person.
And normally when I introduce my friends to each other, it's because I feel like you guys would make great friends too. I'm very funny about my friends. I do not introduce my friends to just any and everybody. So when I'm saying, hey, this is my friend and this is my friend and you two need to meet, it's because I really believe there's a blessing in that you guys meeting. So I'm just that type of person. I don't mind networking. I don't mind connecting with people. I love doing that. But when I introduce my friends, it's because I'm like, hey, you guys can work on something out magical. So
yep.
Numbers.
Yep, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes. So with that being said, guys, this is your girl Cameo as the host of the Speaker Podcast. Just as a reminder, pre-order my ebook, Start a Podcast with Less Than $100, is available on my website. Sales will officially go on very soon. We're just wrapping up some things. And you can also purchase my ebook, The Self-Love Guide, which is available right now. I have merch available. Shop on my website at CameoEssie.com. Also grab that chemistry room spray.
Yes, it smells good.
Thank you. I hand mix everything myself. Very essential oils, very beautiful smells, very beautiful fragrances. Trust me, you're going to love it. Cameo can attest to it.
Yes.
It is the real deal. And be sure to follow me online at www.cameoessie.com. Hit the notification button. I'm also on YouTube and Instagram at camille.essick. And until next time, be blessed. You guys have a great night. Thank you, Camille.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.